healthy relationship actually looks like after a toxic one. It didn't hit me all at once. It was the little moments, like flinching at kindness, or wondering if calm meant danger was coming. After a toxic relationship, even love feels suspicious. And maybe you felt it too, the quiet fear of trusting again, of being wrong again. Hi everyone, I'm Anisha Nassali. Today, we're talking about something that's not really talked about. Over the years, I've helped many women move on from toxic relationships. But a common theme that I've noticed is that afterwards, even the good ones don't feel safe at first. You question your instincts. You second guess kindness. You wonder if the calm is just a setup. And even when your new partner shows up with patience and care, your nervous system still flinches. This video is for anyone who's trying to unlearn survival mode and relearn connection. To not just find a healthy relationship, but actually feel safe to stay in one. The foundation. Re-establishing your sense of self. After a toxic relationship, the most urgent thing isn't finding someone new. It's finding your way back to yourself. Because healthy love isn't about rescue. It's not a fairy tale where someone saves you. It's about two whole people showing up as they are, choosing each other freely. But when you spent time in a relationship that chipped away at your worth, it's hard to not know who you even are anymore. That's where self-work begins. Rebuilding your foundation starts with boundaries, ones that protect your energy, your peace, and your time. In toxic dynamics, boundaries are blurred or broken. You may have been called too much for needing space, or cold for asking for emotional support. But in a healthy relationship, your limits aren't punishable, they're honored. And most importantly, they're yours to set. It also means getting honest about your needs without guilt. What makes you feel safe, seen, inspired? Toxic partners often make your needs feel like burdens. But in truth, your needs are a roadmap to a deeper connection. And healing isn't linear. You may still flinch at kindness. You may still hear echoes of old criticisms. That's okay. Self-compassion is an anchor here. You don't have to be perfectly healed to be worthy of love. You just have to be willing to return to yourself gently, again and again. Core pillars of a healthy relationship. A healthy relationship doesn't just feel peaceful, it feels steady. And that steadiness is built on something deeper than just chemistry or attraction. It's built on pillars, quiet, powerful, and deeply grounding. The first is mutual respect. Not the kind that's performative or surface level, but the kind that shows up in a way you're listened to. Even when your opinion is different, you can agree to disagree. It looks like celebrating each other's wins without competition, admitting flaws without fear, giving space without guilt. In toxic relationships, respect often disappears under control, jealousy, or subtle belittling. But here, respect isn't earned through silence or compliance. It's given freely and returned equally. Next is communication. Clear, kind, and consistent. It means listening, not just to respond, but to be understood and to understand. It's saying, I feel hurt, instead of, you always do this. It's knowing that conflict happens because we're human. But in healthy relationships, disagreements aren't about punishment or power. They're about repair, solutions, growth. And perhaps most importantly, you feel safe to speak, to be vulnerable, to say the hard things without fearing they'll be thrown back at you later. Move forward to the next point. I just want to thank you and ask for your feedback. If you're finding my content helpful, please let me know by dropping a comment down below. Number 3, another key pillar of a healthy relationship is reciprocal support. Your partner should feel like a teammate, not a rival. They cheer for your goals. They hold space for your growth. They celebrate you fully, not just when it's convenient. Toxic partners might compete, diminish, or sabotage you in quiet ways. But in a healthy love, your success feels like our success. There's no scoreboard, only support. Then comes trust. Not the kind that's demanded or assumed, but the kind that's earned day by day. It's built through follow-through, through honesty, through doing what you said you would do. Trust doesn't mean never questioning anything. It means knowing that if something feels off, you can bring it up and be met with truth, not deflection. In toxic relationships, trust is often a minefield, full of suspicion, secrecy, and broken promises. Here, it's different. Trust becomes a quiet safety, built and not begged for. Finally, there's the balance between independence and interdependence. In healthy relationships, you don't lose yourself. You still have your hobbies, your time alone. It's not all or nothing. It's both. Two whole people choosing to lean in without collapsing into each other. Toxic relationships often swing to extremes, either suffocating closeness or total emotional distance. But healthy love, it allows room to breathe while still choosing to stay close. When these pillars are present, love doesn't feel like a test. It feels like home. There's some red flags that you can reevaluate after leaving a toxic relationship because your lens changes. You start looking at every new connection through a filter of past wounds, sometimes seeing danger when there isn't any, and sometimes missing red flags because they feel familiar. One of the first red flags to examine is that feeling of too good to be true. After surviving chaos, being showered with affection can feel like healing. But love that comes in a tidal wave, intense, overwhelming, can also be manipulation in disguise. True connection unfolds slowly. It builds trust over time. Love bombing feels like a high. Real love feels safe. Another subtle red flag is control hidden behind care. It sounds like, just let me know where you are, I worry. Or, you can don't feel comfortable when you do. Healthy concern respects freedom. Control disguises itself as protection, but it chips away at your autonomy. And maybe the hardest part is learning to trust your gut again. Toxic relationships make you second guess yourself, but your intuition doesn't go away. It gets buried. Start listening to it again. Even if you can't explain why something feels off, that feeling matters. Lastly, watch the emotional temperature. Real love isn't a roller coaster of highs and lows. It's steady, even in conflict. The ground doesn't shake. Hot and cold behavior isn't passion, it's instability. And you deserve better than learning to live in emotional whiplash. Finally, actionable steps and moving forward. Healing isn't a switch you flick. It's a slow return to yourself, full of learning, unlearning, and gentle progress. Be patient. Be kind to yourself. New patterns take time to root, and mistakes don't mean failure. Start small. Practice boundaries, open communication, and emotional honesty in all relationships. Friendships, family, co-workers. Each step builds trust in yourself. And if the wounds run deep, therapy or coaching can help you process your past and grow tools towards the future. This isn't about perfection. It's a journey, and you're allowed to take your time. Sometimes healing means learning to receive the very thing you once feared: kindness, stability, and real love. And that kind of love won't always come with fireworks. Sometimes it shows up softly, so slowly, in the way they listen, in the way they stay. You may still flinch, still question. That's okay, because the goal isn't to become unbreakable. It's to stay open even after breaking. If you or anyone you know is struggling with leaving a toxic relationship, make sure to check out the description for a recorded private video where you'll find insight of someone who's been through the same situation. If this video spoke to you, share it, save it, send it to someone who's healing too. And I'll see you in the next video. In the meantime, take care of yourself, because you deserve it.